Have you ever wondered why some people seem to bloom in their later years, radiating joy and purpose, while others fade, trapped in a cycle of discontent? It's a heartbreaking sight, isn't it? To see someone who should be enjoying the golden years feeling burdened, restless, or simply unhappy. We often think happiness is just about circumstances, what we have or don't have. But what if I told you that for many older adults, the biggest obstacles to true contentment aren't external at all? They're subtle, insidious habits, almost invisible, that chip away at our peace and joy, leaving us wondering where our vibrancy went. These aren't grand, dramatic errors, but quiet, everyday choices that, over time, become a pattern that truly destroys happiness. It's like a slow leak in a tire. You don't notice it immediately, but eventually, you're stranded. The good news: once you recognize these common pitfalls, you have the power to change course, to reclaim your joy, and truly thrive. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 shocking mistakes that many older people unknowingly make. Mistakes that steal their happiness and prevent them from living the rich, fulfilling life they deserve. We'll explore each one, not to point fingers, but to shine a light on pathways to greater joy and well-being. Stay with me until the very end, because I have something that will truly surprise you. Something that can instantly shift your perspective and unlock profound peace. Let's dive right in with the first mistake, one that acts like an invisible anchor, holding so many people back from moving forward with a light heart: the persistent habit of clinging to past regrets or grievances. Think about it. We all have a past, filled with choices we wish we could change, words we wish we hadn't said, or injustices we felt we suffered. It's natural to reflect, to learn from our experiences, but there's a crucial difference between learning from the past and living in it. When we constantly rehash old arguments, replay perceived slights, or dwell on what-if scenarios, we're essentially choosing to experience those painful moments over and over again. It's like watching the same sad movie on repeat, expecting a different ending. Our minds and bodies don't distinguish between a real-time event and a vividly imagined one. So, when you relive that argument from 20 years ago, your stress hormones spike, your heart rate might quicken, and you're essentially putting yourself through the ringer all over again. This constant internal turmoil, this lingering bitterness or guilt, acts like a corrosive acid, slowly eating away at your present moment joy. It keeps you from truly being present with your loved ones, from noticing the beauty around you, or from engaging fully in new experiences. It's a heavy burden, carrying around all that old emotional baggage, and it absolutely drains your energy and enthusiasm for life. So, how do we release this anchor? The first step is acknowledging it. Notice when your mind drifts back to those old hurts or regrets. Don't judge yourself, just observe. Then, gently but firmly, bring yourself back to the present. A simple technique is to focus on your breath for a few moments, or to name 5 things you can see, hear, or feel right now. This grounds you. Another powerful step is forgiveness. And I know that's a big word, often misunderstood. Forgiveness isn't about condoning what happened or letting someone off the hook. It's about freeing yourself. It's about deciding that you will no longer allow past events or people to control your emotions today. It's a gift you give yourself. This might involve writing a letter you never send, simply expressing everything you feel, then tearing it up or burning it as a symbolic release. Or it might mean intentionally choosing to remember the lessons learned, rather than the pain experienced. You can even practice self-forgiveness. We all make mistakes. Acknowledging your part, learning from it, and then consciously choosing to release the guilt is vital for your own peace. Remember, the past is a story that has already been written. You can't change the script, but you can choose not to read it aloud every single day. You can choose to close that book and open a new, brighter chapter. I once knew a gentleman named Arthur. For years, Arthur carried a deep resentment towards a former business partner who had wronged him decades ago. Every conversation seemed to circle back to this injustice. He was a kind man in many ways, but this bitterness was a dark cloud over his life. His children worried about him, and his grandchildren found it hard to connect with him when he was always dwelling on the past. One day, after a heart-to-heart with his daughter, Arthur decided he was tired of carrying that weight. He started small, consciously shifting his thoughts whenever they went to his ex-partner. He found a new hobby, gardening, which required him to be fully present, slowly, almost imperceptibly. The cloud began to lift. He started smiling more, engaging more with his family, and found a renewed zest for life. He never forgot what happened, but he stopped letting it define his present. He found his happiness again by letting go of what he couldn't change. Now, let's move on to the second significant mistake, one that can creep in quietly but has profound effects on our well-being: the gradual neglect of social connections, leading to isolation. As we get older, life changes. Friends might move away or pass on. Family dynamics shift, and it can feel like the social world shrinks. It's easy to retreat, to feel that making new friends or maintaining old connections requires too much effort. But here's the often overlooked truth: human beings are hardwired for connection. We are social creatures. Loneliness isn't just an unpleasant feeling, it's a serious health risk, comparable to smoking or obesity. Studies consistently show that strong social ties lead to longer lives, better mental health, and even stronger immune systems. When we isolate ourselves, we miss out on so much. We miss the laughter, the shared stories, the comfort of knowing someone cares, the intellectual stimulation of different perspectives, and the sheer joy of companionship. The world can start to feel smaller, less vibrant, and we can begin to lose our sense of purpose and belonging. It's a subtle shift, often starting with just saying no to one invitation, then another, until suddenly, the phone stops ringing as often, and the silence becomes louder. This is a path that definitely diminishes happiness. So, how do we counteract this? It starts with intentional effort. Think of your social life like a garden. It needs regular watering and tending. Begin by reaching out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while. A simple phone call, a text, or even a handwritten card can reignite a connection. Don't wait for others to reach out to you. Take the first step. Next, consider joining groups or activities that align with your interests. Do you love reading? Join a book club. Enjoy walks. Find a walking group. Interested in volunteering? Your community surely needs your talents. Places of worship, community centers, local libraries, and senior centers are gold mines for social opportunities. The key is consistency. Make it a regular part of your week to engage with others. Don't be afraid to try new things. You might not click with everyone, but you only need a few genuine connections to make a world of difference. Remember, quality over quantity. Even one or two close friends can provide immense support and joy. Be open, be curious, and be willing to share a bit of yourself. These connections don't just fill your calendar. They fill your heart and nourish your soul. They are the fabric of a truly happy life. My neighbor, a lovely woman named Joan, found herself quite isolated after her husband passed. She spent most of her days alone at home, watching television. She felt increasingly down and found little joy in anything. Her daughter suggested she try a local senior painting class, something Joan had always wanted to do but never made time for. Joan was hesitant, feeling shy and out of practice. But she went, and found herself surrounded by people who shared her interest. She started chatting, sharing stories, and within a few weeks, she had a small group of new friends with whom she'd go for coffee after class. These simple connections transformed her life. She was laughing again, looking forward to her classes, and even started painting at home. The sense of belonging and shared experience brought a light back into her eyes that had been missing for too long. She realized that reaching out, even when it felt uncomfortable, was the key to unlocking a richer, happier daily existence. These first two mistakes, holding on to the past and isolating ourselves, are powerful happiness destroyers. But there are three more crucial areas where we often stumble without realizing it, and understanding them can truly set you free. Let's delve into the next one, which focuses on our minds and how we engage with the world. The third mistake, and one that silently erodes our happiness, is the tendency to stop learning and growing, allowing our minds to become stagnant. Many of us reach a certain age, perhaps after retirement, and feel like our learning years are behind us. We've done our schooling, we've worked our careers, and now it's time to relax. While relaxation is absolutely important, confusing it with mental stagnation is a serious misstep. Our brains, much like our muscles, need regular exercise to stay strong and flexible. When we stop engaging in new ideas, challenging our perspectives, or acquiring new skills, our minds can become dull, our curiosity can wane, and a sense of boredom or aimlessness can creep in. This isn't just about feeling less sharp. It impacts our emotional well-being. A mind that isn't stimulated can become more prone to negative thought patterns, anxiety, and a general lack of excitement for life. Imagine a beautiful garden that you stop tending. The weeds start to take over, the flowers wilt, and eventually, it loses its vibrancy. Our minds are similar. The world is constantly evolving. New discoveries are being made, and there are endless fascinating things to explore. To close ourselves off from this rich tapestry of knowledge and experience is to deny ourselves a profound source of joy and mental vitality. It's easy to fall into a routine that never challenges us, but that comfort can become a trap, preventing us from experiencing the thrill of discovery and the satisfaction of personal progress. So, how do we keep our minds vibrant and our spirits soaring? It's simpler than you might think. Start by cultivating a beginner's mind. What have you always been curious about? Is there a language you wished you'd learned? A musical instrument you secretly wanted to play? A historical period that fascinates you? Or a new technology you've avoided? Now is the perfect time to explore it. You don't need to aim for mastery. The joy is in the process of learning. Many community colleges offer affordable courses for seniors, often just for the sheer pleasure of learning, without the pressure of grades. Online courses and tutorials are abundant for every conceivable topic, from cooking to coding to philosophy. Read widely, not just fiction, but non-fiction that challenges your thinking. Engage in discussions with people who hold different viewpoints, not to argue, but to understand. Play brain games, puzzles, or learn a new strategy game like chess or bridge. Even something as simple as taking a different route on your daily walk or trying a new recipe can spark new neural pathways. The goal is to keep your mind active, curious, and engaged with the world. This continuous intellectual stimulation keeps you sharp, prevents boredom, and instills a powerful sense of purpose and achievement. It's about reminding yourself that you are never too old to discover something new about the world or about yourself. This mental agility is a cornerstone of lasting happiness and resilience. My aunt, Margaret, was a retired teacher who, for a few years, seemed to lose her spark. She'd read the same newspapers, watched the same shows, and rarely talked about anything new. One day, her granddaughter showed her how to use a tablet, and she discovered online art tutorials. Margaret had always loved art but never pursued it. She started with drawing, then painting, and soon she was spending hours immersed in her new passion. She joined an online art community, shared her work, and received encouraging feedback. The act of learning something completely new, challenging herself, and connecting with others through this shared interest completely revitalized her. Her conversations became vibrant, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm, and she even started exhibiting her artwork at local craft fairs. She proved that age is truly just a number when it comes to the capacity for growth and joy through learning. Moving on to our fourth common mistake, and perhaps one of the most critical, is the tendency to ignore or significantly neglect our physical health and well-being as we age. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that aches, pains, reduced energy, and a general decline in physical ability are just part of getting old, something we have to accept. While some natural changes occur with age, a surprising amount of decline is actually due to lifestyle choices or a lack of attention to our bodies. Many older adults unknowingly make mistakes like becoming sedentary, eating convenience foods that lack nutrients, or neglecting regular checkups. The result isn't just physical discomfort, it deeply impacts happiness. When your body feels sluggish, painful, or weak, it's hard to enjoy anything. Simple pleasures like walking in the park, playing with grandchildren, or pursuing hobbies become difficult or impossible. Poor diet affects our mood and cognitive function, making us more susceptible to feelings of depression or anxiety. Lack of sleep impairs judgment and emotional regulation. Ignoring persistent health issues can lead to more serious conditions that then severely limit our independence and quality of life. This isn't about striving for peak athletic performance. It's about maintaining a baseline of vitality that allows you to engage with life fully. To truly destroy happiness, one only needs to ignore the vehicle that carries them through life. When the body suffers, the spirit often suffers right along with it. This neglect can lead to a vicious cycle. Feeling unwell leads to less activity, which leads to more health problems and less desire to engage with the world, further diminishing happiness. So, how do we turn this around and build a foundation of physical well-being that supports our happiness? It starts with mindful movement. You don't need to join a gym or run marathons. Even 15 to 30 minutes of moderate activity most days of the week can make a massive difference. Think about gentle walks, chair exercises, stretching, light gardening, or even dancing to your favorite music. The key is consistency and finding something you enjoy so it doesn't feel like a chore. Second, focus on nourishing your body with wholesome foods. This means prioritizing fresh fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. Limit processed foods, excessive sugar, and unhealthy fats. Small changes can have big impacts. Add more colorful vegetables to your plate. Choose water over sugary drinks, and be mindful of portion sizes. Third, prioritize sleep. Our bodies and minds need adequate rest to repair and rejuvenate. Aim for 7-9 hours of quality sleep each night. Establish a relaxing bedtime routine. Keep your bedroom dark and cool, and limit screen time before bed. Fourth, stay on top of your regular medical checkups and screenings. Don't put off seeing the doctor for concerns. Early detection and management of health issues are crucial for maintaining your quality of life. This isn't about perfection. It's about making conscious choices to support your body so it can support you. When you feel physically better, your energy levels improve, your mood lifts, and you have the stamina and vitality to pursue your passions and enjoy life to the fullest. Investing in your health now is an investment in your happiness for years to come. It truly is about reclaiming your ability to move, think, and feel good. Consider my friend, Robert, after retiring. He gradually became less active, spending most of his days watching TV. He gained weight, his knees started hurting, and he felt constantly fatigued. He assumed this was just getting old. His happiness plummeted, as he could no longer do the things he loved, like long walks with his dog or working in his workshop. One day, his doctor suggested he try a gentle exercise program designed for seniors. Reluctantly, Robert started with short walks around the block. He also began cooking more at home, opting for fresh ingredients. The changes were slow but steady. After a few months, He not only felt less pain, but his energy returned. He lost weight. His mood improved dramatically, and he started woodworking again with renewed vigor. He realized that his physical decline wasn't inevitable, but largely a result of his habits, and that taking charge of his health was the biggest step he could take towards reclaiming his joy and independence. These first 4 mistakes, holding on to the past, isolating ourselves, stopping our mental growth, and neglecting our physical health, each take a significant toll on our happiness. But there's one more. A very subtle, yet incredibly powerful mistake that can completely derail our contentment in later life. This last one is something many of us unknowingly do, and it can truly be a game changer when we learn to recognize and overcome it. The 5th and final shocking mistake, one that perhaps underlies many of the others, is a deep-seated resistance to adapting and embracing change. Life is a continuous flow of change, from the smallest daily shifts to major life transitions like retirement, moving homes, or changes in family structure. As we get older, these changes can feel more frequent, more profound, and sometimes more challenging to navigate. It's natural to crave routine and predictability, to find comfort in what's familiar. But when that comfort turns into a rigid unwillingness to adapt, when we cling stubbornly to how things used to be, or how I always did it, we build walls around ourselves. This resistance to change can manifest in many ways: refusing to learn new technology, resisting new ways of thinking, struggling to adjust to a new living situation, or even just being unwilling to alter daily routines that are no longer serving us. When we refuse to adapt, we essentially declare war on reality. We become frustrated, resentful, and increasingly unhappy because the world around us keeps moving, while we are trying to stand still. This stubbornness closes us off from new opportunities, new experiences, and new people. It can lead to a feeling of being left behind, irrelevant, or out of step. This mistake isn't just about avoiding discomfort. It's about actively rejecting the fluidity of life itself. The world is dynamic, and our happiness depends on our ability to flow with it, not against it. Imagine trying to paddle upstream against a strong current. It's exhausting and ultimately futile. Clinging to the past or resisting the inevitable changes of life drains our energy, fuels anxiety, and truly prevents us from finding joy in the present moment. This rigidity can be a silent destroyer of happiness, leaving us feeling perpetually out of sync with the world and ourselves. So, how do we cultivate a spirit of adaptability and embrace the changes that life inevitably brings? It begins with a shift in mindset, viewing change not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth, discovery, and renewal. Start by practicing small acts of flexibility in your daily life. Try a new route for your walk, sample a different type of cuisine, or listen to a genre of music you usually avoid. These small experiments train your brain to be more open when faced with a bigger change, instead of immediately focusing on what you're losing. Try to identify what new possibilities or freedoms it might offer. For example, retirement isn't just the end of a career. It's the beginning of a chapter where you have more time for passions, volunteering, or travel. If technology feels overwhelming, approach it with curiosity. Ask a grandchild or a friend for help, and focus on one small step at a time. Remind yourself that discomfort is often a sign of growth, not failure. Cultivate resilience by reflecting on past challenges you've overcome. You've adapted countless times throughout your life, and you have that strength within you now. Seek out positive role models who embrace change gracefully. Discuss your feelings about change with trusted friends or family, as verbalizing your concerns can often reduce their power. Most importantly, practice acceptance. Some things are simply beyond our control. The Serenity Prayer reminds us to accept the things we cannot change, have the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Embracing change isn't about being fearless. It's about finding the courage to step forward, knowing that with each adaptation, you are becoming stronger, more resilient, and more capable of finding happiness no matter what life throws your way. This flexibility is a superpower for lasting joy. My neighbor, Helen, faced a huge change when her daughter decided to move across the country for a new job, taking her beloved grandchildren with her. Helen was heartbroken and initially resisted the idea of learning how to use video calls. She just wanted to visit. But that wasn't always practical. Slowly, with her daughter's patient guidance, she learned how to use a tablet for video chats. At first, it was awkward, but soon, she was having regular virtual tea parties with her grandkids, reading them stories, and even watching them play from afar. This adaptation, while challenging, prevented deep loneliness and allowed her to maintain vital connections. She even started exploring other online activities, realizing that embracing new technology opened up a whole new world of possibilities for staying connected and engaged. Helen's initial resistance melted away as she saw the profound benefits of adapting. And her happiness was preserved because she chose to flow with the changes in her life, rather than fight against them. So, there you have them, 5 shocking mistakes that can silently steal your happiness as you get older. We've talked about letting go of those heavy past regrets and grievances that weigh you down. We explored the vital importance of nurturing your social connections to combat isolation and fill your life with warmth. We discussed the need to keep your brilliant mind active and curious, embracing new learning and growth instead of allowing stagnation to set in. We dove into the critical role of prioritizing your physical health, understanding that your body is your vehicle for living a joyful life. And finally, we just talked about the immense power of cultivating adaptability, learning to gracefully flow with life's inevitable changes rather than rigidly resisting them. These aren't complex theories, they're fundamental shifts in how we approach our daily lives. Simple, yet profoundly impactful. Remember, you are not alone in making some of these mistakes. And the good news is that every single one of them can be corrected. Starting today. Small, consistent changes truly can make an enormous difference in your overall health, well-being, and most importantly, your happiness. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress, about choosing joy, and about empowering yourself to live your best life. No matter your age, your golden years truly can be your happiest and most fulfilling. But it often requires a conscious effort to shed old habits that no longer serve you and embrace new ones that nourish your spirit. I'd love to hear from you. Have you recognized any of these mistakes in your own life, or perhaps seen them in others? What steps have you taken to reclaim your happiness? Share your thoughts, your experiences, and your wisdom in the comments below. Your story might just be the inspiration someone else needs. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That tells me to create more content like this. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos designed to help you live a vibrant, joyful life at every age. You have so much wisdom, so much life experience, and so much to offer the world. Don't let these subtle mistakes diminish your light. Embrace each day with an open heart and a curious mind. Live your best life at every age. You absolutely deserve it. And that surprise I promised you. It's this. The most shocking mistake of all is believing that your capacity for profound happiness diminishes with age. It doesn't. In fact, for many, the later years are when true, unshakable contentment finally blossoms. Precisely because we have the wisdom to recognize and correct these very mistakes. Your happiness is entirely within your control. Right now.